You know, there's still plenty of adventure to be experienced out there, and you don't have to travel to some tiny little remote part of the world to experience it. All you have to do is use your imagination. Here, take my Harley here, for example. In a different time and a different place, it could have represented my trusty steed, this my suit of armor, and I could be going off to do battle on a jousting field in some medieval land somewhere. I don't think so. Hi everybody, I'm Angelo Viola. Welcome to this week's Outdoor Journal. No, I'm not going to do battle in the Crusades or anything, but I am going to be doing battle against gravity, the law of physics, and most importantly, fear. I'm going to give up the comfortable ride of my Harley here for a more unpredictable, on the edge of your seat ride that you can only get from a true racing machine. I'm off to Shannonville, Ontario to spend some time on a true road racing course. The password there is speed. It's hard to believe that this sleepy little hollow in Ontario, Canada is home to 4 racetracks. Everything from Formula 2000 to dragsters rip up the pavement here. There's also several racing schools for both cars and bikes. Put down your money and you too can feel that charge normally reserved for veteran drivers. As for me, I've been riding motorcycles for years, but this is going to give me that boost in skill and confidence to push my talents to the limit on a controlled track. Well, as my father always told me, if something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. So once I decided to leave the comfortable confines, if you will, of my Harley and take up this rather bizarre sport called motorcycle racing, I went to the best. And the best, in this case, is Michel Mercier, owner and chief instructor at Fast Riding School. I said fast, because that's what we're going to be doing today. Michel, thanks for having us over.
Nice meeting you, Angelo.
I am looking forward to this. I've seen the bikes go out for the last half hour. I've been watching them and a quick sneak peek at what they're doing. There is no way that you're going to get me to do that.
Well, we're going to work with you towards a classroom session and track session. And
that's right, there's an actual classroom session before we get out there.
Yes, yes.
Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. I've got to ask you though, what would make a national champion and a person who has been involved in the industry, I guess 20 years, 18 years in racing, give it all up and get involved in teaching? I mean, that's a whole different world.
Yeah, it's a whole different world, but I enjoyed my sport enough to say now that I'm getting older and family is growing up and stuff, what could I do for the industry, to keep going the same way? So I was involved with a school, the Fast Riding School, and now I'm working as hard at the school as I was working hard at Riding Fast. We're trying to be the best, and we supply everything. You come here and we supply the bikes, the helmet, glove, boots, leathers, everything.
That's what I was reading in your brochure, is that there is nothing left to the imagination. Basically, you have to get your body here, and then you guys take over.
Well, this is like not a school where you come to start riding a motorcycle.
Exactly.
It's a school where you ride a bike already, you have some experience, maybe a year of riding experience, and now you want to feel more comfortable when you're out there riding your bike in the street, or maybe you want to go racing.
Well, I've got to get up to the classroom. I see that my time is almost up, and I guess it's about an hour and a half or 2.
An hour and a half of track time, class time.
Now, are we going to get a chance, am I going to get a chance to work with you a little bit later on?
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to work with the legend himself, all right?
I'll be around.
I know you've got some great instructors, but if you could spare a bit of time for me, I'd really appreciate it.
I'll be around.
All right, I'm going to get up to the class. I'll catch up with you a little bit later on. Thanks, buddy. When it comes to the rush of adrenaline from racing, there's no rules as to who will get bitten. It's a sport still dominated by young men, but more and more women are getting into racing. And it doesn't matter who you are. There's people here who want to be serious racers, and there's people here who just want to have a blast.
School first is have been instituted to improve the confidence of a motorcycle rider. The first goal for us is, as we're helping you to become a better rider, it's to have fun.
Now, I'm not going to jump on the racing bike and hit the road, because chances are that's exactly what I do, literally. No, I'm going to need more than guts to propel my leather-clad body around this track. I'll have to know the laws of physics. And this is the Fast Riding School stables. Here, Michelle's got 20 of the finest thoroughbreds of the road racing world. Now, before I try one of these babies on, I got to get suited up. So while I head over to the dressing room, let's have a look at this week's Surviving the Outdoors.
I can't wait to hit my favorite little trout creek, both this evening and tomorrow morning. The problem is, it took me an hour to get in here through the bush. So tonight after I'm done fishing, I gotta go home for an hour in the bush in the dark. It's gonna take 2 hours at least. Back here in the morning through the dark, no good, folks. So I'm gonna stay overnight here. Now, since I got too much fishing gear as usual, every fisherman carries too much gear, I decided not to bring a tent today. So I have to build some kind of a shelter to keep myself out of the elements. It's gonna rain tonight, possibly. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna show you how to build a neat, awesome little summer shelter. Your first step is to cut a long branch for a ridge pole. It should be a couple of feet longer than the height you can reach. Next, cut 2 Y-shaped sticks around 4 feet long and sharpen both ends. Push or hammer both supports in the ground using the ridge pole as a measurement. Now lay the ridge pole in the Y supports, making sure it's even at both ends. Next, cut a bunch of sticks long enough to overlap the ridge pole and reach the ground, leaving about a 45-degree angle. Now take lots of thin saplings and weave them through the whole structure. Finally, take branches full of leaves and weave them through for your roof. And the last one, perfect. Now, as you can see, folks, it's not 100% waterproof, but it'll do for my purposes. First off, it'll protect me from the elements tonight, no problem. And secondly, and more important, it'll give me the mind frame that, hey, I got a structure around me, no problem, I'll sleep well. Now, the biggest problem I got is getting brekkie and supper tonight. That should be no problem. I said it was awesome out here. I figured about a 12-inch brown tonight for supper, a couple of 8-inch brookies tomorrow morning for brekkie. The barrel will be full. Ooh, yeah, and it'll happen.
Coming up, dressing for success in the fast lane. And now, back to the Outdoor Journal. We're here at Shannonville Motorsport Park, where dress code is not optional.
Obviously, at the school here, we have everything to suit up the rider to feel comfortable. Because obviously, out on the road, or on the racetrack, you have to feel comfortable in the car. So we dress you up to feel very comfortable. So you get protection on the elbow with the leathers. Okay, you're going to get protection on the elbow. And then on the shoulder,
same thing.
And on the back, you have a back protector, okay? If you look at the boots, you have a heel protector here, and those things like this here, and this are sliders. When we go on the track and we lean the bike at a very low angle, those are feelers regarding your angle. So they are not protector, but they are there to help you with your ride. And we use the Audrey helmets, which are quite light, very good shell, okay, and the visor. And those, again, in racing have standards of safety, and those are the #1 safety, the Snell 95 approved.
You got
helmets.
vents and everything here as well?
Vent and everything to make your ride as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, of course there's gloves.
Again, gloves are also for your protection on the top of your hands, and on the inside is good leather, soft, and there's even padding on the inside.
Really, the way this thing feels, and from what you've been telling me, I mean, even if you fall and slide, there's not much that's going to happen to a person, I would think.
See,
I mean, you'd have to really do something drastic.
Yeah, in racing, what happened, a lot of people say, oh, they fall down and they don't get hurt. Well, remember that as long as you don't hit anything, well, then if you learn how to slide, that's what you do, you slide. And, like you say, as long as I'm still here to talk to you about it and stuff. I didn't get hurt bad, and I know the way I enjoy the speed, if I would have stayed on the road, maybe we wouldn't talk today.
Well, buddy, I'm going to promise you, I'm not going to ruin your suit, okay? I will do everything in my power to make sure we don't dent and scratch or anything. But I'm eager to get out there. We got to go out and get me out on that track.
Well, let's go out there and have fun.
All right. Well, here I am, all dressed up and somewhere to go. You can smell the tension in the air. Everyone here has ridden motorcycles before, but this is no ride down the country lane. So, if I look like the not-so-easy rider, that's why.
Directly behind the instructor.
For you out there that like options, this course offers a choice of several racing bikes. From the little 250cc's right up to the powerful 750cc monsters, all complete with 6 speeds, 4-stroke liquid-cooled engines that can rev up to 14,000 RPM. In other words, they go like stink. That's going to be different. That's going to be different for sure. Wow. A few last words from the instructor, then it's boots down and throttle up. It's impossible to describe this feeling of speed. The rush as the wind whips past your helmet. It's impossible to tell you how the asphalt is just a blur as you round a corner only inches from danger. It's impossible to tell you because I can't get out of second gear. So I'm not setting any land speed records. I'm learning the basics of shifting weight and getting the feel of the track. Okay, let's see. Lean right. No. My other right. Now let your eyes do the leading. Good thing my Harley buddies can't see me now. That was wild. I think what's amazing about it, the bikes are so touchy. I mean, you just think about turning and the thing is leaning. I gotta go find out what I did wrong.
Just a few feet, because then you would shift your line so much that if you want to make your radius...
Finding out all our little mistakes may take a while, so let's catch up with Audrey as she catches some wind on this week's Off the Beaten Path.
Hi folks, I'm here at the Peterborough Airport. Not exactly the hub of 747 traffic, but today I don't care because I'm going to learn how to paraglide. And the weather just couldn't be better. So let's go find my flight instructor and get going. Hi Stu, I'm Audrey, your student for the day.
Hi.
Thanks for the shirt.
Oh, you're welcome.
So apparently you're a champion paraglider.
Yeah, that's actually, it's called powered parachuting or
Powered
paraplaning.
parachuting, okay.
Basically, I just returned from the Nationals in Marshall, Michigan, where I was awarded the title as national champion.
Wow. So what does somebody do? How would a normal person out there get started?
Well, the unique thing about this aircraft is that anybody can fly the paraplane solo within about an hour after first laying eyes on it.
An hour?
Yes, ma'am. We actually put you through a intense ground school, a video presentation. We set you down, give you pre-flight instructions with the aircraft, and you're basically up and away. This is the latest generation state-of-the-art paraplane. It's called the Golden Eagle 2, and it's made to carry 2 passengers, and this is an actual 2-seat design, basically. It'll carry up to a 500-pound payload. So very good performing machine. Okay, Audrey, what we'll do is actually walk around the aircraft and I'll show you some of the components on it. And we'll actually have you sit in the seat and experience what the controls feel like.
Stuart starts by briefing me on how to read the instruments, safety measures, then steering. And folks, there's no steering wheel, you use your feet. Now it's time to get strapped in, and we're ready to go. The parachute is actually opened by the propeller, and the beauty part is, if the chute doesn't open, you don't take off. A little different than skydiving. It's a gentle takeoff. It feels like being in a go-kart with a parachute on it. What a view! I'm amazed at the amount of control you have. There's some turbulence, but for a windy day, this ride is still pretty smooth. Wow, folks, paraplaning. What an experience. And anybody can do it. I highly recommend it.
Today's Outdoor Journal adventure took us to the beautiful Bay of Quinte area in the Ontario East Travel region, and more specifically to the village of Shannonville, home of the Shannonville Motorsport Park, which hosts several national and international racing events annually. Frequent flight destination is Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The beautiful Bay of Quinte area is a short 2-hour drive east of metropolitan Toronto. The climate of the region is somewhat moderated by the Bay of Quinte, with average temperatures ranging from 18 degrees Fahrenheit in January to 70 degrees in July. Coming up, the roar of the engine and the smell of the sweat. And now, back to the Outdoor Journal. It's back to Shannonville Racetrack, and this time to scramble with my instructor, Michelle.
Woo! What a blast! Had fun?
That is great.
How are you, Angelo? Are you right now feeling comfortable with
I'm
the thing?
starting to feel a little more comfortable with the machine. I'm not fighting it like I was before, so it's feeling better. It's still not there yet, but it's feeling better.
Okay, well, so far the lines are pretty good. I looked at the, your analyze of the lines, and it's pretty good. Turning point, apex, exit, they look decent. Now the next time we're gonna work on the transmission. The weight transfer on the motorcycle.
You mean shifting over?
Not the riding position yet, but with your throttle.
Okay, yeah.
The way that the weight transfer is going to be done towards the traction.
Front and back.
Okay,
Yep.
That's right. So we're going to come in and make sure you adjust your speed correctly. You pass the turning point, then you balance your bike with the throttle. You've seen in the classroom.
Yeah.
And then from there, as you see the exit point, then you start rolling on and transferring the weight to the rear and just going on nice and smoothly.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's give
Try
it
it
a whirl.
again?
Yeah, are you
All right.
kidding?
Okay, let's go.
I don't want to sound overly philosophical here, but the whole trick is this. The mind, the body, and the machine all has to move in harmony. I may have 750 cc's of engine rocketing me forward, but it still takes a lot of physical work and intense concentration to keep this baby on the track. In fact, whoever first used the phrase, the feel of the road, must have been on a racing bike, because here you literally do feel the road in these corners. Well, have I got a future in this or not?
Well, it's coming good. It's
It
coming
felt
good.
great. I'll tell you, I was in the corners, I even dragged the knee a little bit. I hear
You did,
that's the thing to do apparently, right? I touched the knee. Fantastic, buddy.
You were already going with the riding position and stuff. It's good. It was a little shaky at first, but slowly came very comfortable.
Starting to feel great. Michelle, thank you very much, buddy. It has been an absolute pleasure. As I said to you before, folks, this is not something that just anybody is going to go out and do. But if you've got a little bit of experience at motorcycle riding and don't mind living on the edge a bit, this is an absolute riot. You got to come and see this guy. It's a blast. Can we go around one more time?
Oh yes, if you want. I'm gonna check you out.
I'm gonna race you.
Okay.